Всем привет, снова из рок-н-райда. Сегодня у нас мастер-класс с Мэтью Грин. Вот все уже здесь, все собрались.
Meet some new faces. I'm Matthew. I'm from South Africa, and this is my job is to ride motorbikes. And today I'm lucky to be able to come and give you some insights of what I know, pass some knowledge on to you guys of my understanding of the sport. So firstly, thank you to Barak for organising this.
Welcome, brother.
Thank you, Barak. And Rock and Ride, such a nice venue. It's definitely the best place to ride in Kima. I like this place a lot. It's really cool. So yeah, thank you, Barak.
Thank you, Barak. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So I will explain a little bit of my bike, what I changed to make it more suited towards hard enduro. This isn't my bike, but I can explain to you from the top. So I use lower handlebars. These ones are standard. We put on the motocross handlebars because they're down a little bit. Then your weight is down. Some people who are really tall, they like to bring up the handlebars because it's more comfortable. But when the handlebars are high up, the bike is easy to flip because the weight is higher and you have less control as well when it's high up. So lower handlebars. I also, the front and the back suspension, I put it down as well. Inside, they cut the springs, and in the back they put a spacer inside. So the bike is 2 centimeters lower.
What is your weight?
My weight is 76, 78.
So
Yeah.
you try to make it low as possible.
So you bring the bike down so you have better balance. If the center of gravity is lower, your balance is better. If you look at a trail bike, the trail bike, it's very low to the ground. The bash plate is down like this much from the enduro bike. So when the suspension is lower down, you have better balance. Also the bike can go up steeper things and down steeper things without wanting to flip, going up and down. We also do that with the foot pegs. There's some foot pegs there. You can see these foot pegs are lower down. This is the same thing, to have the center of gravity down more. I use big ones like this, so you have more surface area for your feet to go on, and then your feet are not on like a pendulum like a street bike, so your feet have a solid base to hold on. Then you can also grip better.
Do you use something which has some special angle?
No, the angles must always be flat, because sometimes the foot pegs, when they're new, they bend up a little bit like this. So you have to take them out, take the grinder to make them go flat again. Yeah. Does everyone understand me how I'm speaking?
Yeah.
If we have a translator if we need. If you don't understand, just please put your hand up and you guys can understand? Okay. And also any questions when I'm speaking and explaining, please don't worry to ask me. I'm happy to answer anything I can. So
just a quick question. So is that a myth that the higher is your bike, the easier it is to, come through the obstacles? It doesn't really matter.
yeah, for sure. It's the opposite, I think.
Oh, really?
If the bike is higher up, it doesn't make much of a difference. My bike is lower. The suspension is quite soft also, so it can absorb the bumps better and in the extreme sections take more traction. If you have the right technique, you can go over anything. Doesn't matter how low the bike is. If you feel Graham Jarvis's bike, it's very soft compared to someone like Billy. Billy has a much harder bike, and Graham is really smooth, and he is never getting stuck on the bash plate. So you don't need to try to make the bike higher up or that. For extreme enduro specifically, we use soft suspension in the front and the rear. we make it more soft than standard because the softer it is, the more traction you can get.
So if you're a tall guy, it means that it's harder for you to do that on the bike.
No, not necessarily, because if you're tall, you have to move more your body, you know, from down to up, and sometimes it's more energy, but you have long legs, so you can also not fall over so easy. I think it's more of an advantage to be tall than to be short. Some guys use a higher seat when they're tall, so then when they're standing up from sitting, it's less
They
distance.
compensate it.
Yeah, it's easier to stand up. So I use a shorter seat as well on my bike. Anyway, so we've done this. Then next thing I use is a big front tire. Is a 90-100 front tire.
You use it?
Yeah. This is the 90-90. I use the 90-100. I prefer it because it takes more traction and it's bigger and more stable on the ground. The 90-90
or some beach race, some fast track.
Yeah, fast track. Then you can use this one 90-90.
Yeah.
Then it's better.
I feel fat with 90-100 and
Yeah.
turn becomes tough.
Yeah, that's true. It's like big on the ground, more surface area, so it's harder to turn and it is more lazy. But for hard enduro, the bigger tire takes more traction and it's more planted, stable on the ground. It's the same as the rear tire. We use the big 140 at the back for extreme. Whereas if you're doing fast track, then you can go right down to 90-100, you know, something like this for the back. So I don't use this. These it's good to not bend the front disc, but it's quite heavy in the front. I want the front of the bike to be light. I don't use handguards either, because if the front is light, then it's easy to move. You see, we are doing this a lot. We are moving the front tire a lot when we ride, and always the front is in the air. You're lifting it onto rocks, onto obstacles. You need to be quite clever where you put the weight on the bike. Like in the rear, it's no problem to have a strong...
Do you use radiator protection?
No, I don't.
I saw on Grant's bike, it was fresh for me.
Sometimes people do. I don't know. Graham, I think he does.
I think he is the first person who doesn't miss, maybe, huh?
Yeah, maybe. I think he's sponsored, so yeah.
Maybe a little bit translate, please. 90 когда быстрее едет, как мотокросс и обычный, такой лучше. HARDENDURO, он думает 90-100 лучше. Во, 90-100 he supports also.
Yeah, I like it too. I also use the Michelin front tire.
Лучше держится, он говорит. Угадай, ты конечно, версию.
So then, with the engine, we do a lot of modifications, but to make it simple, we put some weights inside of the engine.
Flywheel.
On the flywheel. We put it on the crank, but it's the same idea.
Same idea.
Anything that's so it's more inertia, it gives more bottom end. The bike keeps going a little bit longer. It's we also use a different head on the engine, just to give it a bit more power, a bit more aggression, a bit more torque. Yeah, and the more powerful the engine is, the more weight you can put inside. So. Yeah.
What's the power of your engine? Like,
I don't know.
mean the volume, 30, 300?
300, yeah. 300 cc. That's standard, I think, for also the factory guys. So. I'm still using the 2023 bike, and next year we go into the 24. And it's very different. And that's pretty much the setup of my bike. We have the same thing, full straps to move, to get pulled. Yeah, strong parts so nothing breaks. Okay, so now I'm a little bit bigger, but some years before I was always really short.
85?
Now I'm
Still growing.
I'm 181. Yeah.
181.
181.
Still young.
Still
How old are you
young.
at the moment?
22.
22.
Yeah. So, but when I was younger, I was a lot shorter, and
I remember 2016, your first time.
2018.
18.
18. Yeah.
Oh.
I was a small boy,
Yeah.
and I wasn't so
Yeah.
strong, and I wasn't able to throw the bike like I can today. So I had to be quite quite clever with the way you can move the bike around. So if you don't have the muscle to pick it up, you know, like just to move the bike like this, that's a lot harder than if you can use your body in ways to move the bike. So a good way is to use your knee. We all have good knee guards, and we can use that as like a pivoting point on the bike. So we'll turn the handlebars away. Can you guys see? So this is how I'll move the bike around. You turn it, if I need to go that way and there's no space, turn the handlebars away from you, put your bike onto your knee, just like this, and then you pull it towards yourself. So you're just pulling it onto yourself, and then you can do it like that. It's very easy. It's something easy. Even the girls can do this. It's easy for the girls to do this too. And the same thing for the other way. Your inside leg facing the bike. Go onto yourself and just move it like this.
Oh, so to rotate it to left, you need to go to the opposite side. You can do both while being on the same side.
It's not as easy that way, yeah. That's to move the front. Now if you want to move the back, it's the same thing. Take your knee, pull the bike onto you, grab on. I normally hold the front brake also, because if you don't hold the front brake and do this, the front tire can go underneath sometimes. So hold the front brake and turn like that. Some basic things. Move the bike down. Same thing in here. This is not so possible, but yeah. Okay, now we go to riding. Any questions, anyone? Do you think everyone can move the bikes like this? we will try it just now when I'm finished talking. So.
Do you use a standard brake pedal?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Do you have some personal setup, some steering wheel, some brake somewhere?
Yeah,
It's simple.
I use a Nissan front brake from the Honda. I use a Magura clutch from it's actually a factory Magura clutch. It's a bit softer. The gearing we use is quite slow. I use a 12 and a 50. So second gear has more power.
It means like a 1350, huh? 52, 1352.
1352, yeah, it's like that. But it's better to make the back. It's better if the back sprocket is smaller, because then it gets stuck in less rocks.
Yeah.
So if you can go 1250 is better than 1352.
I heard Graham use 11 for front.
I think it's not true.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I never seen an 11.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Inside tires?
Inside moose, yeah.
Translate them, please.
Both front and back moose. The moose at the back can be soft. The softer, the more traction you get. Yeah. And soft tires also.
Your white handlebar?
Standard. Motocross handlebar, yeah. It's down, but it's the same wide.
Matty, could you please repeat about the stars, the front stars and back stars? They didn't understand it.
Sprockets.
The sprocket, okay. On my bike, I use 12 and a 50 on the back. Sometimes 12 and 49. But it's better to make the back as small as possible, because if it's smaller, it gets less rocks, like less damage than a big sprocket. Yeah. If you go through. Also, we have, it's quite slow. 12 and 50 is not very fast, but second gear is much better. For some uphills, I use second gear a lot. If I have 13 and 50, then second gear is not enough power. So,
если 13-50, то на втором ступени не хватает силы, а если 13-50, то хватает силы подняться на какой-то холм.
Do you use a spring for your weight?
Yes. I use on the KTM 7.3 in the back.
No weight?
So
7.3 for what weight?
76 kgs is my weight. Yeah. And the front I use 4.2. 42, yeah. Rock, do you mind holding the bike for me? Okay. So we'll do riding position. It's very important. The way you control the bike is through the foot pegs and the handlebars. This is all your balance. You can balance with your feet, moving your weight from side to side. Balance like this. But you also use your hands. If I turn the handlebar, it also changes the balance. Your body position is also very important. If you ride like this, with your elbows down, you have no power in your shoulders. If you hit a rock, the bike will kick side to side and you cannot control the bike. If you have a strong position like this, like in the gym, when you do a bench press, you do not do it like this. You have your elbows straight, because then all the muscles are working correctly. So you want to keep your elbows always up and in a strong position like this. Your head is important to look as far forward as possible. It's quite difficult, but the more forward you can look, the more you can see what is coming, and you can prepare.
Don't look down.
Don't look down at the front, because you cannot ride fast, or you cannot be ready for what's coming if you're looking down like this. And also, if you keep your head up, it keeps your back
Tension.
straight. Yeah.
Okay.
If your head is down, your back is bent like this. And if your head is up, you keep your shoulders back, and everything is working better. So you want to always look forward, have your elbows up, and then, okay. So, hold it in. Your feet is very important. Your legs is what controls the bike so much. Graham Jarvis is really good, and you always see he's standing up with his feet on the foot pegs and riding. Even when he's sitting down, his feet are still on the foot pegs. When you're standing up, you can balance a lot with your hips and squeeze the bike and control the bike with your legs. It's very important to ride with your feet holding onto the bike. If you look at like Billy Bolt and also Manny, they put new stickers on their bike every race, every time they ride, because after one ride, it's all has been rubbed off, because they're squeezing the bike so much. You guys understand?
Протирают мотоцикл, настолько они трутся коленями, что он каждый раз стикер.
Ayak kontrolü orası diyor çok değerlidir. Ayaklarımızla vücudumuzla sürekli kalçamıyoruz. Önümüzde diyor. Böyle tutarsan gücünü veremezsin diyor. Aynı diyor. Fitness ağırlık kaldırırken nasıl böyle basıyorsun diyor. Böyle değil diyor. Burada seveceksin diyor. Çok önemli.
Okay, another thing that is especially important in Turkey, because there's a lot of rocks. When you ride in the loose riverbeds, it's good to stand on this part of your foot with your heels down. Then your weight is further back. When I put my feet like this and I drop my heels, your legs lock the bike a lot better, and you're completely stable. Like this, I can, I'm loose on my handlebar, on my arms, and I'm not getting so much arm pump when I'm riding. You have much more control like this, and you can look forward, and this is how we are riding.
You're holding with your hands.
You're barely
legs,
holding on with your hands. You're holding on a lot with your legs, especially in the rocks, and this is very important in the rocks. And yeah, that's about it, I think, for bike control. Any questions for body position and
Yeah, the guys wanted to ask about your tires and wheel sizes again.
Okay.
What's your setup?
With my tires, I use Michelin 90-100. It's the bigger one. It's the same size wheel, but it's the tire is bigger and it grips more.
Ставит Мишлен, колеса того же размера, но сама резина пошире будет.
With a moose.
Wider or higher?
It's wider. All is bigger. It's like a bigger circle. The 90-100 is like this. The 90-90 is like this. So it's not higher, but it's
just bigger.
It's just bigger. Yeah, it's a bigger circle around the rim.
Просто больше и вшире будет.
With a moose inside, I like a hard moose also in the front. When the front moose is too soft, then I don't like how it's feeling. Yeah.
Becomes like a chewing gum, huh?
And in the rear, I use also a Michelin, normally, a big with the 140, and a moose inside. Or meters is also good. Yeah. I use a moose. But the tubeless is good. But we have moose sponsors for my team.
У него просто спонсоры,
yeah, so we can use as much as we need. But the tubeless is good because it's not so expensive. You don't have to always replace the moose. Yeah.
We have a small question. He is asking when it's better to sit on the bike and when it's better to stand up.
Yeah, that's okay. So we want to try and stand up as much as possible. But it's not. You can't always stand up. So when you're sitting down, you want to sit more forward on the bike and try to keep 1 foot on the foot peg. 2 feet is, for balance is okay. If you can put 1 foot on the foot peg, you're able to push yourself forward with that foot. And you don't have to hold on with your arms so much. When you have both feet off, the bike is going, and you're holding on with your arms. They become really tight, and you have no control. The more power you're using with your arms, the less control you have with the throttle and the clutch and everything, because you're just trying to hold on. It's difficult to be... So sometimes if I go into an uphill, I always try to stand up for as long as possible. When I lose control or slow down, I will sit down and try to put 1 foot always on the foot peg. If I need to balance, we'll swap the feet.
Okay.
But try to always have one on the foot peg. This helps you stay forward on the bike and have less strength, less stress on your arms.
Гору едет стоя всегда, а когда теряет баланс, он садится.
For example, here you have to sit down, and here you have to stand up, or you just like how it goes. For example, if the rocks are very big.
If the rocks are very big, for me it's better to stand up. If you have to put 1 foot on the floor, and to start riding like this, because then it's much easier to stand up like that. If you're sitting down, when you stand up again, the bike moves and stuff. But if your bum is off of the seat, then your bike has much better balance and it's much easier to start standing up like that.
The most sitter is Graham, I think, yeah?
Yeah, Graham sits a lot. But
Graham sits a lot.
when Graham sits, he always has 2 feet on the foot peg. If you watch it, when he sits down, he's always riding like this. But Graham is like a master with balance. His balance is very good, so he's able to balance still while sitting down. But for me, it's quite difficult. But if I stand up, then I find the balance a lot easier. Because I can move with my feet, I can move the bike underneath me like that. And I use my hands and everything. Any other questions?
Do you have a second start button on your mobile?
I don't know.
Or you have Kickstarter?
I have a Kickstarter, yeah, on the bike.
But not on new model?
No, not on the new model.
Это запасной.
Maybe the factory guys, I think, have 2 starters on both sides, in case they break one.
Okay.
because now the new bike you cannot put a Kickstarter. Anything else?
Если будет пустой подъем, где
Его нету, у него одна кнопка, у него есть Kickstarter. А новой модели нету, поэтому у кого некоторые провайдеры используют две кнопки. Я видел Марию, допустим, на ранее делал вторая. То есть если ты упал, то ты кнопку поломал, тебя там не встретишь.
If you're stopped on a hill and it's very steep, if you're stuck in the middle, it's difficult to stand up and get going because you are not moving, you have no balance. So in this situation, I will start one foot on the ground, one foot on the foot peg, sitting quite far forward, and then you start riding like this. So then your foot can push you, can keep you forward, and you don't have to hold on. If you start back like this, the bike is very easy to flip. Yeah, you start like this.
на подножке нужно ноги.
Пружину он подрезал,
Like this.
там у него есть, он, конечно, использует
Sorry, question regarding the suspension. How do you tune it? How many clicks?
It's for my suspension. It's all different inside. So the clicks makes no sense to
У
say
него все по-другому,
10 clicks or
поэтому
this
по
clicks.
кликам не имеет смысла.
But if I get a standard bike and I go to race it and I have to have standard suspension like it comes brand new, I will make the rebound slow in the front. So I will turn the rebound minus, and I leave it, maybe the compression will go plus 5 clicks that's in the front, and then in the rear I also just make the rebound slower with the standard suspension. Yeah.
Он использует свою собственную подвеску, и настройка по кликам не имеет смысла. Но если вот вы дадите байк с завода,
Ready to ride?
он отскок
минус
сделать
делает, да.
минус и поставить там плюс 5. Я
Там
просто
третья
решаю
поставить, да,
подвеску.
примерно.
А сзади он тоже делает ребаунд отскок в минус.
Okay, we're going to now put on the riding gear and go in there. And I think we start with some practicing on the logs, on where the wood is. We do some riding there. I'll show you some techniques. Cool. All happy? Any other questions? You guys good? Until we go into the sun?
One question. Husqvarna OKT.
I like KTM more.
You should be more politic.
Because of contract.
Suspension. Yeah? Husqvarna is different back suspension, yeah, with the linkage. I like no linkage. Because it doesn't get caught on the rocks.
Расскажу по-другому его более.
But is that really big difference between the stock suspension properly tuned and your custom one?
Yeah, because mine is it's different. It's like a Exact Pro and a coin valve. I think it's quite a big difference.
I see.
It's the biggest upgrade for the bike you can do, I think.
Говорит, разница большая. Где-то даже хорошо отстроенный стоковый подвеска его личный, который у него там. Или так не сделаешь.
TBI or TPI?
TPI for me. I never use the TPI.
Он сказал, в следующем году поедет. Пока.
Alright, everyone. Now we're going to do some riding. So we can start. I'm going to use this log as an example, but I think it's going to demonstrate a lot for what the skill that we're using. It's a good example to be able to use. So when we're going over an obstacle like this log, we don't want to just ride into it firstly. You have to be able to get the front up to go over, whether it's a log or a rock or tires or anything like that. You have to be able to get the front up, and you have to be in control to do this. You can't just open the throttle and let the bike have power, because then you lose all control. You have to use the clutch, use maybe a little bit of the brake, use suspension, and all of that in sync will pop it up. So what I mean when I say that is when we're coming into an obstacle, we're going to compress the front forks down, and as we pull back, let go of the clutch a bit, whoop, and get the front cut. So, it's a very small movement, but it makes very, very effective. Understand that, how you do that. You're going to come, we don't, not before the double clutch. This is the first one, the first clutch, before the double blip. It's pushing the suspension down, and when the suspension is coming up, you let go of the clutch a little bit to whoop, just to pop it up. Okay, so that's to get the bike onto the obstacle. Then next thing we're going to do, once the front is near the, or onto the obstacle, you need to come forward with your body to throw, so that the bike goes over. You use your momentum of your body and the momentum of the bike to come forward and to push it over the obstacle. If you go up and then the second blip you let go without coming forward, the bike is just going to go up and up again. So if you come forward, you're able to throw the momentum over and you go over the obstacle. I'll show you. Bike with the gas as well. You do this if you get stuck. If you're halfway on the obstacle, you start like this and you come forward. And you see how the bike starts to move already without any gas. So you have to help the bike to go forward and over the obstacle. You start at the back, walk, and come forward like that. Let's try on some of these. There's one log there, there's this log here, and there's another one there. Let's try, and I'll watch you guys, and I can help you as you do it. Try to slow it down, not go so fast that the bike's momentum is too fast to feel anything. You go a bit slower, then you need to use your body more, and then you'll really understand throwing the weight forward and using the double clutch. Because from here we can go to the tires, or even those tires, and then you have to do the technique better. So do it again, but just slow down a little bit more. I saw yours was slow and was very good. So, okay, try. so we're going to move on to a little bit bigger. Because it's bigger and it's higher, sometimes the guys think, okay, I need to go faster, I need to have more speed to go over, which helps a lot. Sometimes it's the right thing and you can get through it, but that's not what we're doing today. We're going to learn the techniques today and how you move your body and how to have more control on the bike and how to use the power better. So if you go faster into this, you don't have enough time to come forward. When the back wheel hits the tire and you're going too fast, you get that feeling that the seat like kicks you in the ass and it throws you over the handlebars, throws you over the front, and then you have no control. It's happened to someone on the, it happened to you on the log. It kicks you and then your weight is on the front and you have no control and you fall over. So we don't want that here. We want to come in smooth and slowly. Put your front wheel onto it, come forward with the bike, use the gas and go over nicely. I will demonstrate now. I'll show you. So when we get to this position, everyone can get here, this is not a problem. But afterwards is what we need to work on. So from here, we are in the middle of the bike. We're going to throw the weight forward and use the gas to go over. Today I don't want to see the front wheel in the air because that's too much. Just to go nice and controlled over, keep the feet on the foot pegs and stay balanced so that you don't feel you're too much on the front, too much on the back. You need to feel controlled that the bike pushes you over the obstacle. So let's have a look. Let's try it. Must change is always keep your eyes up. Some people, they come in and they're looking at the bottom. You need to look where you're going. So look up more, and when you look up more you can keep your momentum and keep your balance better, because lots of people, they're coming, they go up and then they put the feet down, no balance, and go over. So look up more and try to keep your balance when you ride over. Try to go over without putting your feet on the tires. So I want everyone to do it without putting the feet down. And very smooth. He was doing it very well, riding over. A lot of guys can do it with control, so that's good. If you feel very comfortable to go over this, you must try that one when it's one tire, because then you have to keep the balance. You have to keep straight. Whereas here, if you lose the balance, there's lots of space. So yeah, let's do this a little bit more. Keep the feet on the foot pegs and look up some more. When you look up, you can keep the gas constant and ride over again. So try again, everyone.
Mэтью, can I do it on the second gear? Is it 300?
I do with first gear.
First gear.
Second gear is not necessary because you're not going so fast. If you want to jump, then you go second gear. Yeah.
Okay, I do it on the second gear because I'm riding not a lot of time. Okay. And the second gear is I can make some mistakes.
Okay.
On the first gear, more power.
Whoa. Okay, I understand. Yeah.
Then it's good.
Second gear is okay.
Yeah.
That's not easy. Are you guys happy with that, eh?
Бронза.
That's good. That's very good, eh? Well done. So, for me, it's well done, guys.
You good teacher.
Balancing exercise. So if you want to take the helmet off with your heart, it's okay for the next 20 minutes. Is lower, and then you can start to balance like this.
В общем, начиная вот с такого положения, тормоз зажали, руль выкрутили в одну сторону и просто балансируем.
Ну и нажали на вилку, чтобы она там зашла, да.
My hands to balance and my feet to balance. If I put the weight, like if I push here, the bike goes there. Push here, the bike goes down. It's the same with my feet.
Спроси, он на подножках, на носочках стоит вообще, смотри. Вот в этом упражнении.
He's asking about your feet position on the pegs.
The feet position on the pegs is not super important. You don't have to put.
А чем отличается на ровной плоскости или вот так?
Why do you tilt your bike like that? Do you use brake?
I use the push the back brakes when I go down. They're on, also the front. Then some gas, whoop, and let go.
Когда он загружает перед прыжком, он использует задний тормоз, когда он внизу.
And then let go when I come up.
So you let go the rear brake when you come up.
And yeah.
Он отпускает задний тормоз, когда поднимается,
so that the wheel can turn a little bit to have some power.
Чтобы немножечко прокрутить колесо, чтобы был импульс.
But it's very.
Разминается. Когда останавливается, опять нажимает. Прыгает на месте.
Сейчас он до переднего дойдет еще.
I will show you, and then we can explain.
На приземлении получается, он передний зажимает.
And now I'll try to do it without the brake.
Окей, сейчас без тормозов попробую. What's the benefit of using your brakes to gain more kinetic power?
Yes, to gain more energy going down and not going forward.
Чтобы загрузить вниз, а не вперед мотоцикл, ты должен зажать тормоза. Если ты не зажмешь, он у тебя вперед будет ездить, и, соответственно, у тебя сила будет распределяться не по вектору вниз, а вперед и вниз.
What about front brake?
Front brake also is always on.
Спроси, в те же самые моменты он...
No, it's the same as, no, not always. Is the same as the back brake. On,
окей.
On, off. So that I can push the front wheel down.
Yeah,
Okay.
If there's no front brake, the
Yeah.
front just goes
yeah,
forward.
it will move forward.
Yeah.
Нет, не синхронно.
Почему?
Yeah. It's like
Вначале it's not synchronized
it is synchronized, I think.
Он сказал
at the
синхрон...
same time.
Да,
It's
да.
like,
Ему нужно подвеску загрузить, поэтому он нажимает.
У него впереди постоянно.
Слушай, одновременно, да, он нажимает.
Да, конечно.
it is pretty synchronized.
Okay.
But this is, you can hear my breath is breathing now because it's
The guys said the same, because you will lose all your power before the race.
yeah, but it's good to get the body ready, the body warm. You know?
Что-то там газ дал. Что-то...
Look ahead, keep the speed, and stand up, and look where you need to go. Like, wall up, and keep looking at the top.
Что за балет?
Играй жестче, Ренат!
Кто хочет это повторить?
Даже пробовать не буду.
Надо делать. Это у нас
Well done, you rode really well. You were very good.
Thank
yeah?
you so much.
Well
Thank
done.
you so much.
Good to ride with you.